Very good morning to you watching Breakfast with me, Louise Minchin, in the studio, and Dan is at the University Hospital Coventry, and we are marking what should have been the day that lockdown restrictions were lifted in England. And one of the many expert voices we'll be hearing from this morning, as ever on a Monday, is Dr. Nighat Arif. Morning to you, lovely to see you.
Morning.
It was supposedly a Freedom Day. We all know that it's been delayed. Lots of things coming out today, not least that scientists saying that what they'd like the government to do is start planning for the COVID vaccine, the booster, to be given out at the same time as the flu jab. Just give us an idea of the kind of logistics involved in all of that.
Well, firstly, I think we have to remember that today people are going to be so disappointed, especially those from the recreational industry, hospitality, and people were expecting that we would be back to normal, whatever normal is now. So bear with us as doctors and as scientists. We're trying to do our best. And the booster vaccine in autumn time, the thing is that, Louise, the research is still going on. We don't know that even after being fully vaccinated, that means 2 doses of the vaccine, how long does your immunity last? Because we are still seeing what the real-time data is around the world. And therefore, a booster vaccine makes sense to me as a clinician. We do it for lots of different vaccines. Remember, we do it for hepatitis vaccines as well, which is also another virus. And we also tweak vaccines along the way. We do that annually for a flu vaccine. The reason we want to do this is because, A, we want to make sure that we have full immunity all the time. B, that we get a handle on the variants that are going to crop up, because invariably, variants will crop up. And the reason they crop up is because the virus spreads very rapidly throughout our community. The more contagious a virus, the more quickly it will change and mutate. And therefore, we need to make sure that we get a handle on that so that our vaccines that we've currently got, the vaccination program on the weekend, I think it's something ridiculous, like 1 million people are vaccinated and 60% of the adult population is being vaccinated. So to make sure that all that hard work with the vaccination program carries on being as effective as it is, means that we're going to be tweaking how we look at vaccines along the way.
And I know you don't know the answer to this, but there is talk about combining it with the flu vaccination programme. I mean, could it be in the same actual jab, or what are your thoughts?
So, again, we do that with lots of different vaccines already. We used to do that with children's immunisations, diphtheria, etc. And so this is something that's not unusual. There are loads of different vaccines that we combine. That is still something that I know that my excellent colleagues, virologists and epidemiologists, will be looking at, and immunologists will be looking at, because we want to make sure that, again, then we minimise the side effects. Because if you give a vaccine, that triggers off an immune response. And if you get people in the population who are mass vaccinated and they get a severe immune response, so at the minute we know that if you get a vaccine, you get headaches, temperature, aches and pains. In women particularly, we're noticing that actually they might actually delay or make their period come quicker. Again, because your immune system lives around your womb, so cycles might change, which actually can be really unnerving for women as well. So therefore, we want to make sure that if we do combine something, that it's done as safely as possible, and also to minimise the risk to the population. It doesn't surprise me if they do that, though, in the future.
Really interesting. Also, really importantly, we know about the Delta vaccine, and we do. What can you tell us about how effective it is at the moment against the Delta variant, Nighat? I know you picked me up at 6:30 in the morning nicely.
I will correct you on that, which I hate correcting you. But double vaccination of the Pfizer vaccine and the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, it's really promising. So against the Delta virus. So the Delta variant is obviously the most dominant variant that we have in the UK at the minute, and we need to get a handle on that very quickly. In fact, the numbers are so encouraging because the vaccination program is going so well. Over 18s in England have been invited to be vaccinated, and we had walk-in clinics throughout the weekend as well, and people in their droves, thankfully, came despite the hesitancy and the misinformation that we are still tackling at the minute. But if you get 2 doses of the Pfizer vaccine, 96% less chance of being hospitalised. So you're protected against hospitalisation. And if you get the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, 2 doses of that, then 92%, which are really encouraging figures. That means that eases the pressure off the NHS. And the whole point one of the reasons is lockdown, is because we want to ease the pressure on our NHS, which is such a finite and precious resource.
Oh, lovely to speak to you as ever. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
6:34, and Sally is alive.